Hey, good morning, everybody. What's going on? Lewis here. Happy Sunday. Hope you're all doing well. Fear, how to overcome it, how to work through it, how to finally stop letting it take rule over your life and keeping you from your best self, your best version. I'm going to get all into that. My experience with it, what's helped me, what helps many people. More to come. Anywho, if you end up by liking this video, please like it, subscribe to the channel, share it around. It helps this channel get to a wider audience by means of the glorious algorithm. So thanks ahead. Fear, just like any emotion, has its roots. I'll start off with that since it's the beginning of the video. It starts in childhood, starts in the way that we were socialized, in the way that we were shown what's acceptable, what's not acceptable by the people around us. If you don't do what you're told, you're going to get a beating, right? So that puts a fear in you. If you do what you're told, you get rewarded. This goes on all over the world, and it's gone on for centuries. So it's no shame, no anger, just understanding where this all came from. Because through that understanding, it can help us overcome it and work through it. So, step one, look at your own past, your own childhood, and see how your relationship with fear all started. What were you shamed for? What were you rewarded for? How has that leaked into your other human relationships at school, with your spouse, with your loved ones, with your job, your boss? Take note. Through that, it will basically give you a nice foundation, a nice GPS, a nice roadmap to navigate through. Makes things a lot more readable, if you will. So the next step is feeling it. It's just facing that feeling, letting it rise up in you. Because a lot of times fear is such an uncomfortable feeling that we keep pushing it to the side with distractions and addictions. I've done it. I was addicted to all kinds of things. Emotional suppression in general, keeping feelings stuffed down, becomes something rampant in our lives. It's coping mechanisms we've learned when we're young. It's, eat some candy to distract us from feelings. Nowadays, it's play video games, scroll on the iPad. You get it. You understand. Drugs and alcohol in the later years, especially, even just soft addictions like watching TV, or they call them soft addictions, but honestly, they can be very harmful because they're socially acceptable and we keep on doing it. Now, now that we're getting more used to feeling feelings, one way I like to do this is I practice meditating every morning and night for about 20 minutes. And I go for walks throughout the day, leave my phone behind me, so that way there's not a lot of distractions in your field. So that way the feeling can just rise up in you. You want to start getting comfortable with uncomfortable feelings. So that way it ceases to be uncomfortable. It's like any type of strength training. Emotional processing is a training in itself, and it gets more natural with time, I want to say, because it's really hard in the beginning. I've been through it. It gets easier with practice, is what I'm saying. But to get stronger at anything, you've got to lift heavy weights. You've got to get comfortable with the burden of it and get your nervous system familiar with it. Because the more you do that, the less scary it is. And the more like you can see this as something, wow, this is not so bad. This is doable. I also like to journal. So I'll call this step 3. After step 1, understanding the roots of it. Step 2, being more present in your day to day in your life so that you can let the feeling rise up through you, meditating, walking, deep breathing. Number three is now to journal, get to writing your feelings down. What are you thinking when you're feeling the feelings, the fear? A lot of times our mind makes meanings out of the feelings, and sometimes it gets it actually kind of twisted, but you don't really see the twistedness until you write it down and record it. The trouble is with this day to day overstimulated life we live in, so many millions of thoughts and noise from work and the internet all flow through your head, and this emotional processing, this mental processing gets swept under the rug. And without doing this awareness stuff, the patterns repeat. That's the thing. So take data. Data analytics is a huge field. People get paid over six figures to analyze data from apps, Facebook and people's shopping trends. Take your own data. What triggered this fear in you? What type of situations in your life brought it out of you? That way, after some extended time of taking data, you start to see themes, you start to see trends, you start to see patterns, and you'll start to see where maybe you may have some room for a different perspective. When processing feelings, there's a step-by-step process you want to go through. First, you'll feel the feeling, accept the feeling, let it be there as long as you need to, learn from it, understand it. And when you're ready, you have a choice to say, maybe this fear is not serving me. Maybe these feelings aren't serving me. This is what you want, the type of things you want to write in your journal. When you're ready, though, you can't force a feeling. Offer a different perspective. Like, maybe this fear is just self-sabotaging me. Maybe it's not reasonable. Maybe I want to change. So faith is the other side of fear. They can't really occupy the same space. They have two different directions that they'll take you. And faith in God, faith in the universe, faith in yourself. Even if you don't believe in God, that's important. Faith that you can do it. You can have a better path forward. You can change if you want to. Write that perspective down. Maybe I don't know the whole roadmap now, but maybe I'll try, and I'll try a different approach, a different strategy, a different mindset. Affirm these things in your writing. The thing is, fear wants things to stay familiar and stay comfortable, even if that fear is toxic and harming you. Eventually, there's a great quote that says something like this: the pain of staying the same is worse than the pain of change. Eventually, you're willing to go into the unknown and say, hey, maybe I don't know the whole roadmap now, but I trust myself that each day I'm going to adjust my sails if necessary. Experiment, try a different approach. Try faith. It's not an end all be all. Let your nervous system start to get accustomed to the possibility that maybe a different outcome is possible. So let's use an example here. Fear of losing somebody. So let's say that you're in a friendship or relationship, but it's actually not all that good for you. And you see this dynamic play out over and over again where you're just not good for each other, and maybe when you hang out it's just all about drama, and you're not really growing as a relationship or a friendship, but deep down you're afraid to lose them. Maybe you understood that when you were a kid, let's say that you lost your brother, they passed away, and you repeated this fear in your later life because you you never wanted to feel that feeling again of loss. So even if it meant maintaining a harmful friendship or relationship, you still hold on to it. So maybe now an example of your writing could be like, okay, well, I understand my fear, Lewis. It's understandable. A lot of times we shame ourselves and get angry at ourselves for feeling the fear. I certainly did. And we were shown that feelings were shameful, a lot of us. But being compassionate to yourself about your feelings, like, wow, it's understandable. I could get it now, especially when you look at your childhood. What's my new path forward? Now, I still I don't want to let fear rule my life now. You can write in your journal because I see that this isn't the same as when I lost my brother when I was a kid. This is different. Even though fear is trying to repeat itself, in this case, me and this person aren't good for each other anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and just communicate and talk to them and let them know that maybe we should go our separate ways. Maybe we're just not a match to each other anymore. It's not about good or bad. It's just we're not a match anymore. And that feels scary, but just talking yourself through it in your writing, you start to get your nervous system used to releasing that fear, and you'll eventually feel confident. You'll like it. You're like, yeah, it feels good to challenge my fears and stand up to them. And then you'll work up the courage to communicate to that person and take your new action. And this is where the magic happens. When you get ready for the action, this is like the meditating and the writing. It's almost like you're going to college. And then when you take new action, it's almost like your job experience. It's where things really start flowing and going, and you see the change happening. A lot of these things take practice, and sometimes they don't go away overnight. You might be getting better at addressing this fear, and it might show up and get in a different form. And that's okay. Keep working at it. It's all an exercise. Some things are more ingrained in others, and sometimes it's fear, sometimes it's anger, sometimes people, depending on their unique story, might be dealing with the feeling of being abused all the time and not trusting people. All these fear, though, is a big one because fear manifests in a lot of different forms, and guilt and lack and shame, and fear is kind of like one of these big root emotions. So that's why I thought it helpful to talk about in this video. The more you write, the more you practice awareness, the more you condition your nervous system to feel these feelings, the easier it will become. So stay strong. I know that you all are champions, you're warriors. This stuff's not easy. People are starting to talk about these things more and more. Thankfully, on the planet, we need it. If this planet's ever going to change, emotional processing needs to happen, men and women. I grew up in that whole men don't have feelings mindset. And yes, men have feelings, and we got to learn how to process them. And that way we can purify ourselves from the addictions and the coping mechanisms and become better communicators and better friends and better partners, better caretakers of each other and the earth. Once we start to understand ourselves, we start to understand others, and we learn to work together. Take care, everybody. Hope you liked it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it around if you found any value to it. Many thanks. Peace.